James Gunn, the guy who made a talking raccoon and a walking tree popular worldwide, is ready to do it again, taking unknown comic book characters and blasting them to superstardom. But we're not talking about the Guardians. This time, the Guardians of the Galaxy filmmaker is setting his sights on DC with another group of misfits, the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad, not to be confused with the 2016 film, isn't a sequel and not really a reboot either. Aside from a few familiar characters, aka Margot Robbie kicking ass as Harley Quinn, Joel Kinnaman taking names as Rick Flag, and Jai Courtney's notorious Captain Boomerang, the film is a standalone and introduces a whole new world of its own. Now, while we're all familiar with the antics of Harley Quinn and some of the gang, as the Suicide Squad hits theaters and HBO Max, it's time to take a look at some of the other major characters you may not be familiar with, and they're about to break out in a big way.
We're all gonna die.
I hope so.
Oh, for f***'s sake.
First up, we have Bloodsport, played by Idris Elba. The character debuted in the comics in 1987 as a Superman nemesis. Robert Dubois was a Vietnam veteran manipulated by Lex Luthor into trying to assassinate Superman. In the movie, it's established that he's in prison for shooting the Man of Steel with a kryptonite bullet. Bloodsport is a master marksman and a fighter forced into helping the Suicide Squad when Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis in the film, threatens his daughter with prison time.
What's the plan?
How the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of
Next up, we have Peacemaker, played by John Cena. Peacemaker first appeared in a 1966 comic published by Charlton Comics, which was later acquired by DC. The character of Christopher Smith is a man who HBO Max says believes in peace at any cost, no matter how many people he has to kill to get it. Sort of like Captain America, if Captain America were, like a really horrible person.
I cherish peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I need to kill to get it.
I thought you were the crazy one.
Oh, yeah.
Now, get ready for a lot more Peacemaker. James Gunn has also created a show for HBO Max starring Cena as the antihero. Then we have Polka Dot Man, played by David Dastmalchian. Now, we're getting into true Gunn territory with a bizarre choice for a comic book movie. Polka Dot Man debuted in 1962's Detective Comics. Abner Krill was a low-level crook who tried to make a name for himself with spot-themed crimes and a costume that included some, choice gimmicks. Gunn leans into the D-list nature of this comic book character, crafting a surprisingly touching portrait of a man who has never lived up to his own potential, and wrote the part particularly for the actor, a longtime friend of his. Next, we have Ratcatcher II, played by Daniela Melchior. The daughter of the original Ratcatcher, who debuted in 1988 as a Batman villain, Ratcatcher II uses a machine invented by her father to control, you guessed it, rats. In the film, 3 real-life rats played the role of Sebastian, including one named Crisp Rat. Sound familiar?
It's just a metaphor, dude.
Portuguese actor Daniela Melchior gives a star-making performance in The Suicide Squad, even though after first meeting Gunn, thought she was not right for the part. An excellent audition, though, changed his mind. And finally, we have King Shark, voiced by Sylvester Stallone. King Shark, the Suicide Squad's answer to Groot. Originally a Superboy villain, King Shark has gone on to become one of Aquaman's villains. And he's exactly what he sounds like, a giant shark who can kinda talk.
And
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
He first appeared in the comics in 1994 and is the son of a shark who is thought to be a god. In the movie, he's played by Steve Agee, with Stallone adding his voice later. But we're just scratching the surface here. Rounding out the Suicide Squad is Pete Davidson's Blackguard, Nathan Fillion's TDK, Michael Rooker's Savant, and some guy named Weasel. The goal, try to save the world and get out of prison early. The Suicide Squad arrives August 6th in theaters and on HBO Max.
This is suicide.
Well, that's kind of our thing.